The dark side of farming. Controversial practices exposed. Farming has long been associated with sustainability, growth, and the essential task of feeding the world. However, beneath the surface of this vital industry lies a shadowed realm of controversial practices that spark ethical, environmental, and health concerns. From industrial animal farming to the overuse of chemicals and exploitative labor practices, modern agriculture's darker side has profound implications for the planet, animals, and people. 1. Factory farming and animal welfare. Factory farming, often referred to as intensive animal farming, represents a highly mechanized and industrialized approach to livestock production. While it is lauded for its ability to produce large quantities of food at relatively low costs, it comes with significant ethical and environmental trade-offs. To maximize efficiency and profit, many large-scale operations prioritize output over the well-being of animals, leading to practices that are widely criticized by animal rights advocates and concerned consumers. In these factory farm environments, animals such as chickens, pigs, and cows are often crammed into overcrowded and unsanitary spaces that severely limit their ability to move or express natural behaviors. Chickens, for example, are frequently kept in battery cages, small wire enclosures that restrict movement to such an extent that they cannot spread their wings or turn around comfortably. These cages often house multiple birds, exacerbating stress and increasing the risk of injuries and infections. Similarly, egg-laying hens often suffer from feather loss, brittle bones due to lack of exercise, and high levels of anxiety and aggression caused by confinement. Pigs raised on factory farms often endure equally harsh conditions. Gestation crates, small metal enclosures used to confine pregnant sows, are a common feature. These crates are so narrow that the pigs cannot turn around or lie down comfortably, leading to physical injuries such as sores from prolonged contact with hard surfaces and psychological distress. Once piglets are born, they are often separated from their mothers prematurely, and male piglets may be castrated without anesthesia, a practice that has drawn sharp criticism for its cruelty. Cattle, including dairy cows, are not exempt from the challenges of factory farming. Dairy cows are often subjected to repetitive breeding cycles to maximize milk production, which takes a toll on their physical health. They are typically kept in confined spaces and denied access to pasture for much of their lives. Male calves, considered byproducts of the dairy industry, are frequently sold for veal production, where they are kept in small crates to restrict movement and develop tender meat, a practice considered inhumane by many. These conditions not only harm the animals but also create an environment conducive to disease outbreaks. Overcrowded facilities and unsanitary conditions often lead to the spread of illnesses, necessitating the routine use of antibiotics to prevent disease rather than treat it. Beyond animal welfare concerns, factory farming has far-reaching environmental consequences. The concentrated animal feeding operations, CAFOs, produce vast amounts of waste, which, if not properly managed, can contaminate water sources and contribute to air pollution. 2. Overuse of antibiotics in livestock. The overuse of antibiotics in farming is another deeply troubling issue. To prevent disease outbreaks in cramped factory farm conditions, animals are routinely administered antibiotics, often preemptively rather than as a treatment for illness. This practice contributes to the rise of antibiotic-resistant bacteria, posing a serious global health risk. The World Health Organization, WHO, has warned that antibiotic resistance could lead to a future where common infections are untreatable, threatening millions of lives. 3. Excessive pesticide and herbicide use. Modern agriculture relies heavily on chemical pesticides and herbicides to boost crop yields. While these chemicals help control pests and weeds, their excessive use has dire consequences for ecosystems and human health. Pesticides can leach into soil and water systems, harming wildlife and contaminating drinking water. Additionally, prolonged exposure to certain chemicals has been linked to cancer, neurological disorders, and reproductive issues in humans. Glyphosate, a commonly used herbicide, has been the subject of significant controversy due to its alleged health risks and environmental impact. 4. Deforestation for agricultural expansion. The demand for agricultural land is a leading cause of deforestation worldwide, particularly in tropical regions. Vast areas of rainforest are cleared to grow crops like soy or palm oil or to create pastureland for cattle. This deforestation not only destroys critical wildlife habitats but also accelerates climate change by releasing vast amounts of stored carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. The Amazon rainforest, often referred to as the lungs of the earth, has been significantly impacted by agricultural expansion, raising global alarm about the future of this critical ecosystem. 5. Labor exploitation and unsafe working conditions. Agriculture often relies on low-paid and vulnerable workers, many of whom endure grueling conditions with little legal protection. Migrant workers, in particular, are frequently exploited, working long hours for minimal wages in unsafe environments. In some regions, child labor remains prevalent, with children working on farms instead of attending school. These labor practices highlight the ethical challenges within the farming industry and the urgent need for fair labor standards and enforcement. 6. Monoculture farming and soil degradation. Monoculture farming, where a single crop is grown repeatedly on the same land, has become standard in industrial agriculture. While efficient in the short term, this practice depletes soil nutrients, leading to long-term degradation and reduced agricultural productivity. Soil erosion, loss of biodiversity, and dependence on chemical fertilizers are some of the adverse effects. As soil health declines, farms become increasingly vulnerable to climate change and pests, creating a cycle of unsustainability. 7. Corporate control and the marginalization of small farmers. Agriculture has become increasingly dominated by large corporations that control everything from seeds to distribution. Companies patent genetically modified, GM, seeds, forcing farmers to buy new seeds each year rather than replanting saved ones. This practice disproportionately affects small-scale farmers, who often struggle to compete with corporate giants. In developing countries, smallholder farmers are particularly vulnerable, as they face rising costs, shrinking profits, and land displacement due to corporate expansion. 8. Environmental pollution from farming practices. Intensive farming practices contribute significantly to environmental pollution. Livestock farming produces large quantities of methane, a potent greenhouse gas that accelerates global warming. Additionally, runoff from fertilizers and animal waste pollutes rivers, lakes, and oceans, leading to the growth of harmful algal blooms and dead zones, areas devoid of life due to oxygen depletion. The Gulf of Mexico's dead zone, caused by agricultural runoff from the Mississippi River, is one of the largest in the world, exemplifying the far-reaching impact of farming pollution. 9. Genetic modification and ethical concerns. The use of genetically modified organisms, GMOs, in farming has sparked a heated debate. Proponents argue that GMOs can increase crop yields and resistance to pests, reducing the need for chemicals. Critics, however, raise ethical and health concerns, questioning the long-term impact of genetically altered foods. There is also growing unease about the control of GM technology by a handful of multinational corporations, which could exacerbate economic inequalities and further marginalize small-scale farmers. 10. Food waste and overproduction. Ironically, while millions face hunger worldwide, a staggering amount of food is wasted at various stages of the agricultural process. Crops are often left unharvested due to market conditions or cosmetic imperfections, while surplus food rots in storage or is discarded by retailers. Overproduction, driven by industrial farming's focus on maximizing yields, exacerbates the problem, highlighting inefficiencies in the food supply chain. Addressing food waste is essential to creating a more equitable and sustainable farming system. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to our channel before you go. Thank you for watching.